Welcome to Forever Remembered. I'm Elizabeth. Today we take time to honour the lives of incredible individuals whose impact continues to echo across generations. Through their work, passion and dedication, they touched countless hearts. Join us as we celebrate their stories from film, music and culture, preserving memories that will never fade and always inspire. DMX remains one of the most distinctive voices in hip-hop, known for a delivery that felt urgent, emotional, and unfiltered. 5 years ago this week, his passing at the age of 50 marked the end of a career that had already left a deep imprint on music culture. What set him apart was not only intensity, but the honesty he brought to every verse. Music built on struggle and faith. Through songs like Rough Riders Anthem and Slippin', DMX expressed themes of survival, inner conflict, and resilience. His music often balanced aggression with vulnerability, creating a space where listeners could hear both strength and uncertainty in the same breath. This contrast became a defining part of his artistic identity. Record-breaking success and cultural reach DMX also achieved major commercial success, becoming the only artist in history to have his first 5 studio albums debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200. This milestone reflected both his popularity and the strong connection audiences felt with his work during his peak years. A lasting influence in hip-hop, even today his voice continues to echo through modern hip-hop. Artists and listeners still reference his emotional openness and raw expression. His legacy lives on in how music can carry both toughness and vulnerability at the same time. A message circulating online claims that singer Jerry Butler has passed away at the age of 85. At this time, there is no confirmed statement from family representatives or reliable major news sources verifying this information. Because of that, it should be treated as unverified, rather than a factual report. Early career and rise in soul music. Jerry Butler, born on December 8, 1939, became one of the defining voices in American soul music. He first gained attention as the original lead singer of The Impressions, where his smooth, controlled vocal style helped shape the group's early identity. His work on songs like For Your Precious Love, which he co-wrote and performed, marked an important moment in the development of modern soul. Solo success and musical impact. After leaving the group, Butler built a successful solo career with a long list of charting songs, including Only the Strong Survive. His music combined emotional storytelling with polished vocal delivery, helping him remain a steady presence in R&B and soul across multiple decades. His recordings are often noted for their balance of strength and sensitivity. Legacy and influence. Across his career, Butler earned respect not only for his voice but also for his consistency and artistry. His work influenced generations of singers and continues to be played and appreciated by soul music listeners. His contribution remains an important part of the genre's history and evolution. June Lockhart, born June 25, 1925, is recognised as one of Hollywood's most enduring television figures, with a career that spans multiple eras of entertainment. Over decades, she built a reputation for steady performances marked by warmth, clarity, and emotional authenticity. Her work connected with audiences who often felt they were watching a familiar presence grow alongside television itself, adapting smoothly as storytelling styles and production methods evolved. Iconic television roles, she became widely known for her role in Lassie, where she portrayed a caring and grounded mother figure, bringing sincerity to everyday family stories. Later, she reached a new generation of viewers through Lost in Space, playing Dr. Maureen Robinson. In this role, she balanced intelligence and compassion within a science fiction setting, helping make the series both accessible and emotionally engaging despite its futuristic premise. A lasting television legacy. Throughout her career, June Lockhart remained a consistent and respected presence in entertainment. Her performances reflected a style rooted in sincerity and restraint rather than spectacle, which helped her characters feel relatable across generations. Even as television changed dramatically over time, her work continued to be revisited by audiences who value classic storytelling and dependable screen presence. Artist Melvin Edwards passed away at his home in Baltimore at the age of 88. He was widely regarded as a pioneering sculptor who transformed industrial materials into emotionally powerful works of art. Using welded steel, chains, barbed wire, and found metal objects, he created sculptures that carried a strong sense of memory and presence. His work often balanced heaviness with reflection, turning raw materials into forms that felt both physical and symbolic. The Lynch Fragments series. One of his most important bodies of work was the series Lynch Fragments. In this ongoing collection, Edwards explored themes connected to history, identity, and the Black experience in America. Rather than telling a single story, the works used abstract forms and layered materials to express resilience, struggle, and endurance. Each piece felt like a fragment of a larger narrative, inviting viewers to reflect on history and human experience through texture and form. Legacy and influence. Edwards' artistic approach helped redefine modern sculpture by showing how industrial remnants could become deeply expressive art. His work continues to influence contemporary sculptors and remains an important part of cultural and artistic discussions. Beyond materials and technique, his legacy lies in his ability to turn metal into storytelling, creating works that speak to strength, memory, and the enduring power of transformation. There is a version of Pierce Brosnan the world chose to remember first. The elegant silhouette in a perfectly cut tuxedo, the calm gaze that never seemed to rush, the voice that could turn danger into something almost graceful. For many audiences, he became a symbol of effortless sophistication, the definitive cinematic spy who walked through explosions and heartbreak as if neither could touch him. But that image, polished and iconic as it is, only tells a fraction of the truth. Behind it lies a far more complicated life, one shaped not by glamour, but by absence, loss, rebuilding, and resilience. To understand him fully is to step away from the screen persona and into the life of a boy who learned early that stability was something you had to create for yourself, not something you were given. A beginning marked by absence. Pierce Brosnan was born in Drogheda, Ireland in 1953, into a world that would not remain steady for long. His father left when he was still an infant, disappearing without explanation, leaving behind a silence that would echo through his entire life. His mother, young and determined to build a future, also stepped away soon after, leaving him in the care of relatives while she pursued work in London. For a child not yet old enough to understand language fully, abandonment became his first lesson in human connection. He was raised in fragments, grandparents, then extended family, each transition kind but temporary. There was care, but never permanence. That absence of a fixed emotional home shaped him in ways that were subtle yet enduring. Even as a child, he learned to observe more than he participated, to understand rooms before entering them, to sense distance before it could be imposed on him. A childhood of quiet displacement. As Brosnan moved between caretakers, his sense of belonging remained fragile. Each household offered safety, but not continuity. He was not neglected in a harsh sense, but rather carried along by circumstances that never fully anchored him anywhere. That kind of childhood creates a particular form of awareness, an instinct to avoid expectation, because expectation often leads to disappointment. School life reflected this same quiet invisibility. At St. Kieran's College in Navan, he was not the loud or dominant presence. Instead, he became observant, withdrawn in moments, and deeply internal in his response to the world. Art became his refuge. Drawing and painting offered something stability never had, a place where he could control the outcome. It was not yet ambition. It was survival in a gentler form, the return of a mother and the shift to London. At the age of 10, his life shifted again when his mother re-entered the picture and brought him to London. She had rebuilt her life, remarried, and was now ready to reunite with her son. But reunion does not automatically create familiarity. For Brosnan, London was both opportunity and estrangement. He had a mother again, but not the shared history that makes the word feel natural. The city itself was overwhelming, fast, loud, indifferent. In school, he stood out not for excellence, but for difference. His accent marked him, his background isolated him, and his internal world remained guarded. Yet beneath the uncertainty, something was forming. A quiet adaptability, a capacity to survive unfamiliar environments by reading them carefully and responding intelligently rather than emotionally. Fire, performance, and the first taste of being seen. In his teenage years, Brosnan drifted into unexpected work that would change his sense of self. He became involved with a travelling performance group, learning fire breathing and street entertainment. It was not glamorous, nor was it safe, but it introduced something he had never consistently experienced before: attention. For the first time, strangers stopped and watched him. They reacted to him in real time. Coins were dropped into his path, not out of obligation, but response. That experience, being seen and acknowledged, was intoxicating in a way he did not yet understand. It planted a seed. Performance could transform invisibility into presence. This realization would quietly redirect his future, though he did not yet know it. Training, discipline, and the discovery of acting. At 17, Brosnan entered drama school in London. The transition was not easy. He arrived without privilege, connections, or formal preparation. What he did have, however, was raw emotional material accumulated over years of instability. The institution demanded vulnerability, encouraging students to draw from their deepest experiences to fuel performance. For Brosnan, this was less excavation than recognition. His past was already close to the surface. Abandonment, displacement, and longing were not distant memories. They were structural elements of his identity. Acting became a channel through which these experiences could be transformed into craft. What had once felt like emotional fragmentation began to take shape as expressive strength. Early career and the slow rise to recognition. After graduating in the mid-1970s, Brosnan entered the world of theatre. It was not an immediate ascent. The work was demanding, the pay modest, and recognition slow. Yet within this environment, he developed discipline. He learned timing, restraint, and the subtle power of presence. His breakthrough arrived in television with Remington Steele in the early 1980s. The role showcased a combination of charm and intelligence that resonated strongly with audiences. He was suddenly visible on an international scale, particularly in the United States, where viewers saw in him a new kind of leading man, stylish, composed, and emotionally suggestive without being overt. For the first time, Hollywood attention followed him consistently, and with it came the possibility of something larger: love, family, and the creation of stability. Around this rising success, Brosnan's personal life deepened in ways that would define him far beyond his career. He met Cassandra Harris, an actress whose presence brought immediate emotional clarity into his life. Their relationship grew into marriage, and he adopted her children, embracing fatherhood with a commitment rooted in his own experience of loss. For someone who had grown up without a stable family structure, this was not symbolic, it was corrective. He built the home he never had, intentionally and wholeheartedly. It was a period of emotional grounding, where professional momentum and personal fulfillment briefly aligned, but life rarely allows stability to remain untouched for long. Loss and the return of grief. Tragedy struck when Cassandra was diagnosed with cancer. The illness progressed, and despite years of struggle, she passed away in the late 1980s. For Brosnan, this was not a distant sorrow. It was a profound emotional rupture. He had experienced abandonment as a child, but this was different. This was love fully formed and then forcibly taken. He became a single parent, carrying both grief and responsibility simultaneously. The experience reshaped him again, adding another layer of emotional depth that would never fully leave his performances or his personal life. Loss, once again, became part of his identity, but not its conclusion. The weight of reinvention in Hollywood. As Brosnan's career expanded beyond early television success, He entered an industry that rarely allows actors to remain static. Hollywood does not simply reward talent, it demands reinvention, often at the cost of personal identity. For Brosnan, this meant navigating a space where he was constantly being redefined by external expectations while still trying to remain grounded in his own lived reality. The transition into global stardom was not just a professional leap, but an emotional negotiation between who he was and who the world wanted him to be. Even after becoming internationally recognised, he faced moments where career paths shifted unexpectedly, including the turbulence around securing and eventually embodying the role of James Bond. These professional highs and uncertainties reinforced a central pattern in his life. Nothing remained fixed for long. Yet rather than resisting this instability, Brosnan learned to move with it. Each reinvention added another layer to his identity, turning him into an actor who could carry both elegance and emotional weight simultaneously on screen. Art, healing, and life beyond. Acting beyond the camera and public image, Brosnan cultivated a quieter, more personal relationship with creativity through painting. Art became a space that did not require performance or approval. Unlike acting, which is always shaped by audience perception, in painting, he found stillness, a way to process memory, loss, and time without needing to translate it into character or dialogue. This private artistic practice reflects an important shift in his life, from survival to reflection, where earlier years were. Defined by movement, adaptation, and emotional endurance, later years allowed for expression without urgency. Alongside his family life and continued acting career, painting offered balance, becoming a form of emotional grounding. It is in this quieter space that Brosnan's life reveals another dimension, not the global icon, but a man continuously seeking meaning beyond recognition, building peace not from fame, but from creation itself. The Bond opportunity and career transformation. Not long after, Brosnan's name became associated with one of cinema's most iconic roles, James Bond. For years, he was considered the natural successor to the franchise, embodying the style and intelligence the character required. When the opportunity finally arrived, it marked a defining moment in his career. As Bond, he achieved global recognition. The role amplified his presence, turning him into an international figure of cinematic elegance. Yet even as the character defined him in the public imagination, it did not fully contain him. Brosnan was never only the spy on screen. He was a man shaped by experiences far removed from fiction. The role elevated him, but it did not simplify him. Reinvention, resilience, and later life. After his time as Bond ended, Brosnan continued to evolve. He took on diverse roles, moved into producing, and explored visual art, particularly painting. His creative life expanded rather than contracted, reflecting a broader emotional maturity. His later marriage to Keely Shea Smith brought renewed stability. Together, they built a life grounded not in spectacle but in continuity. Through decades of public attention, personal hardship, and professional reinvention, he maintained a steady presence that resisted the volatility often associated with fame. His life became less about defining moments and more about sustained endurance, the meaning of survival and identity. What defines Brosnan's story is not a single role or achievement, but the continuity of resilience across decades. His early life taught him absence. His career taught him visibility. His losses taught him depth. And his later years reflect integration rather than escape. He did not become strong because life was easy. He became steady because it was not. His emotional world, shaped by abandonment, love, grief, and responsibility, became the foundation of a character the world later interpreted as effortless confidence. But that confidence was never effortless. It was constructed, refined, and sustained through lived experience. Outro. Beyond the screen. Pierce Brosnan's legacy exists in two overlapping realities. One belongs to cinema, the tuxedoed figure, the composed spy, the global icon of style and control. The other belongs to life itself, the child who learned absence too early, the man who built and lost a family, the artist who continued to create through it all. The distance between those two versions is not contradiction, it is continuity. The screen persona did not replace the man. It emerged from him. What audiences saw as elegance was, in many ways, discipline shaped by experience. What they saw as calm was resilience forged over years of uncertainty. In the end, his story is not about becoming someone else. It is about surviving long enough to become fully oneself and learning that identity is not a fixed image, but a lifetime of rebuilding.